as well.
Phase 1. Collect stars and weapons. Shooter. Laser.
Blech.
Phase 2. Fight. Player 1 wins.
Okay. We also need to make these buttons touch enabled.
Collect stars and weapons.
Cool. And so now our shoot mechanic is fixed between phases. Our inventory is correctly reset. Our score seems to be updating correctly. And cool. So I think I'm just going to tweak the thrust on this and maybe just make sure that that announcer is correctly announcing the winner each time. If I were using Vue.js with Vuex, I would write a function in Vuex to reset what I know. Is there a similar method you can put? Is that a good idea? Yeah, so I guess like in Vuex you have like an initial state function, right? The thing is I think in most games it's a lot more involved than that, because whereas in Vuex you have like a pretty static data pattern, like tree. Whereas like nodes have a sort of intrinsic state, like they can get lost if you don't detach them. You can't just overwrite and let the garbage collector. Well, GDScript doesn't actually have a garbage collector technically, so I think whereas with JavaScript you could pretty much just remove all references and overwrite. It wouldn't exactly work the same way in GDScript, I don't think. So I think I need to remove the linear dampening on. I mean, what Bumfuzzle is saying is correct. It's probably the best way to do it, I think. But considering I'm not re-architecting this because I'm just going to publish it soon. My next game I will properly architect. I think I underestimated the scope of this, and I didn't put the effort into architecting it properly, and that's definitely something I've learned. I thought, oh, I'll be able to throw this out in like a couple of weeks, and it'll just be a nice, quick first game to publish. And it's definitely grown in scope, but I think that's because I've enjoyed the game so much more than I thought I would.
Stars and weapons. Ice.
Alright, I need to kill this other player and just make sure. Oh wow. Yeah, the player's inventory, the UI needs to update, doesn't it? Wow, what happened there?
Player one wins.
Alright, cool. Alright, so the score is fixed. And then I just need to update the status. So let's just say we'll call this hooks. We'll say ready game state dot connect. And what is our game state signal? I think it's just like reset level or something. Level reset. So on level reset, we want to handle it with self and say on game state level reset. Now let's implement this function in a handler. Oops. And I don't think it has any arguments. Nope. Cool. And so we need to just go for child in icon holder.get children, and we'll just say icon holder.remove child. Sweet. And now the other thing is when we have our announcer announce the winner of the game. Okay. So we have this like victory screen. Not quite. Actually, I'm just going to delete this console. I'm not going to use it. It's my debug console. Okay. Then we had like our panels, right? Okay, so victory. We have this animation player. And here we say,
Player one wins.
okay, so here we actually just need to swap that out for a script. I was lazy at the time and didn't implement this, so let's grab a helper in here and we'll call this func player one sound. Well, let's say victory sound, right? And we'll just do the same thing for player 2. And here we'll have another helper, which is just play victory sound, and we'll take a sound here and debug draw. That's called debug draw. Okay, so let's just play victory sound. In fact, that's not going to work. So we're going to have some sort of state in here. So what can we do? We could just store in the game state the victor each time. Which I think is fine for now. Victor's history. Yeah. And every time we get a victor, we just add them to that, I guess. Record death, here we go. So if player 1 dies, right, we just add to the round score. Otherwise, we can say victor's history.push 1, otherwise victor's history.push 0. And then in the game state, I guess we can add a public API, which is func last victor. Last victor, and that's just going to be victor's history dot -1, and we need to return that. And that is going to be an integer function. Cool. And so our panel manager should now be able to get the last victor. Actually, not that. In our victory scene, we can match on the game state.lastVictor, and when it's 0, we can say voice p1.play, otherwise voice v2.play. There we go. All right. Let's see if that worked.
Phase 1. Collect stars and weapons.
So we need player 2 to win this one.
Push 1.